Welcome back, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to Final Fantasy VII. So, we already just basically took down Ultimate Weapon and took care of that little side quest, along with getting Cloud's final weapon. It is now time for us to move on to other ventures, to other areas that in Disc 3 we should be able to start taking care of and be able to get final weapons, remaining materia that we need, all that fun stuff, everything like that's happening. But first, it's time for us to head back to the Chocobo stable. I'm not sure why, but... Oh, yeah, that's right. Wow, I completely forgot that I actually wanted to do this for you guys, because I did say I was going to do it. We are going to be taking out our gold Chocobo to show you that you can take your gold Chocobo to where Lucrezia is at. You don't necessarily need to use the submarine if you don't want to. And so here is the example. We're going to take out Goldie for her last ride, unfortunately, because after this, she really isn't going to be all that necessary. But I did want to showcase, like, you can go to Lucrezia's area and be able to dismount, because I saw a few people had that debate of, like, I've never been able to dismount in that area. It's a narrow margin, I'll give you that. But you can take a gold Chocobo there. You don't have to take the submarine. So here we are on the second continent, and it's just right in the middle of the continent. So happy Thursday, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. For me, it's just busy. We're transitioning into the holiday time, and so we're getting Halloween out of the way, or we just barely did yesterday. And yeah, getting ready for things like Thanksgiving, as well as normal life to kind of return around the house, as my wife is actually getting ready to go back to work. So that's going to be fun. So here it is. If you come here in Disc 3, Lucrezia is not here, but she does leave something behind. Lucrezia. Receive Death Penalty and Chaos. Death Penalty is Vincent's final weapon, and Chaos is his final limit break. I actually love the fact that it's named... I'm getting less human. I love the fact that it's named Chaos, just because of the history from Final Fantasy. If people don't remember, from the very first game, the end boss is called Chaos. Chaos actually comes into Final Fantasy quite a bit. If you consider, like, a lot of the villains that have been coming to this point, they are agents of Chaos. So, yeah, Chaos has plenty to do with Final Fantasy, and it's only appropriate that with as less human Vincent is getting, that he gets to become Chaos. Now, what's funny is you guys just barely saw on Gold Saucer, like, a little village right below it. That is supposed to be Corel Prison. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I've never been able to go back after Disc 2. I have heard that if you beat Ruby Weapon or other things that you need to do, you can go back if you miss something. I've never been able to do that. And somebody actually did correct me on the Ramuh materia earlier on in the game. And this is correct. So, Ramuh is not, like, one-time attained. You can take... I think you have to do Chocobo races or something like that, and they will put you in the room again so that you can get Ramuh's materia. I've never had to worry about it, because once I got it, I thought it was immediately cut off, and I just made sure always, whenever I played this game, to always get the Ramuh materia. But technically, you can do that, so that's actually pretty cool. I like that idea. Now that we've taken care of Vincent's final weapon and limit break, it's time to take on some other errands. Specifically, it's time to board the submarine once again for one of the basically two of the hardest areas in this game, but they do actually hold a lot of really awesome weapons, materia, armor for you to be able to go get. One of them just so happens to be at the bottom of the ocean. In fact, we found it. Oh, by the way, there's Emerald Weapon off in the distance to the left. So if you guys haven't seen him before, there he is. I'll admit, Emerald Weapon's not the best looking weapon as far as I'm concerned. He's too bulky. That's kind of the bottom line of it. But yeah, when we were, I think it was Junin, right when we got the Junin reactor, we actually came across this, and I said that we would be coming here later, and here we are. We're going to be taking on a bonus mission, not necessarily a mission, but a bonus area that you can access after you get the submarine. And it's basically a crashed Gelnika craft that has landed in the ocean but had a lot of really awesome materials that were going to be moved over to Shinra headquarters. It never made it. So we're going to go loot the thing and find all of the horrors that lie within. In fact, I actually wonder if a lot of Hojo's failed experiments eventually made their way in there, because that would make a whole lot of sense to me. And I am actually not in the right crevice. So we'll pretend that I'm not doing all of this, looking around and all that. Yeah, happy Thursday, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, we are... Somebody actually did ask, and I'm going to go ahead and answer the question. Sometimes I sound like John Madden occasionally. But yeah, we are really close to the end. Like, the question was, like, how much side questing do we actually want to do? Technically, there is one side quest that we will not do, and that is killing Emerald and Ruby Weapon, both of which require... Oh, so this is the Shinra's Gelnika type airplane. Wonder why I went down here. So this is the Gelnika type, and we're going to just loot the joint. Starting by getting Heaven's Cloud, which is a sword you can get for Cloud. It is not that good compared to what you're getting right now. I'm just checking to see if it has better materia growth, because one of the downsides of all the final weapons, they have no materia growth. Absolutely none. And so you cannot use them while you are leveling, for fear of the fact you're not going to be growing your materia in the process. And around this time was also when I took a little bit of a grinding break to get prepared for the Crash Gelnika. So now we're going to loot the place. So we got a Mega Elixir. And, of course, I get attacked, because that's the way things go. But as far as side quests go, we're not going to be taking on the Emerald and Ruby Weapon. I know that a lot of people are disappointed by that, but it takes a whole lot of effort, and it takes specific materia, and I figure if this is, you know, the intent of this Let's Play is to show you the story, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to unless I do it as a bonus episode or something like that, for me to cover that. So we're not going to do Emerald or Ruby Weapon, but we are going to ensure that we have the best stuff walking into Sephiroth. And so we're going to do the Crash Gelnika. We're also going to be doing another area that actually opens up after you kill Ultimate Weapon. So you guys can look forward to that. And also, I'm very glad I got the Escort Guard. That's going to be helpful later when we do the Battle Arena. And there is a piece of materia down there, but I got it wrong. We received double cut materia. This is also an amazing materia that you can get that basically for things like the Battle Arena makes Cloud like God mode levels of insane. Because this enables for Cloud to attack twice. And if you level the materia, you can attack up to 4 times on random enemies. So you guys can see it. Boom, boom. And I'm hitting 9999 every time with the ultimate weapon. Or with the ultimate weapon. Huh. Yeah. Cloud's God at this point. This is another reason why I think a lot of people love Cloud is, like, you could make Cloud God levels of insane in attack power in this game. And since he's mandatory throughout most of the game, like, if you have a character that's going to Captain 99, it's pretty much guaranteed it's going to be Cloud. So, Mega Elixir, then down... Actually, yeah, there's one other thing here. Upstairs. And this is the Spirit Lance. This is another good weapon for Sid if you don't have a good weapon for him by now. But I have the Venus Gospel, which is his best weapon, which is his final weapon. Yeah, it's a little bit better. What's funny is a lot of the stuff that I'm doing right now is to prep for bonus content that will get us even more awesome materia to walk in with Sephiroth. But Drak, I thought you already had the super awesome Knights of the Round summon. Yeah, I do. And we're going to use it. This is terrible. It's all messed up. Well, yeah, this thing wrecked, Cloud. Of course it did. We also got the Hades materia. Now we have all but one summon materia. Outsider. Why do you care? But Drak, why do you care that you have almost all of the summon materia? You guys will see that in the next little bit too. I hate this guy. Can I just say that for the record? I hate this guy. Kill him. Because he does that damn abnormal breath. And it pretty much is just going to confuse and enhance the attack power, I think. High wind. So we just barely got Sid's final limit break. We have that now. And there just so happens to be another little item that we want to go and get. But first we have to get Poison Fanged by this guy. Jiminy Christmas. Just leave me alone. As you guys can see, Cloud is just insane now. Nothing really can phase him, and I don't care. Like, this is one of those things that's very satisfying about Final Fantasy VII is Cloud is elite, and he is that in every sense of the word. And you can make him out to be this way, or, I mean, you could not level him, but I don't know how that would work. And it's especially funny when you go back and play Final Fantasy VII, and then you play the game that came after, and there's just such a change. I honestly think I can't even blame Square Enix for that. I think they saw the God mode levels of insane people made Cloud do. And so at that point, it's like, you can't get mad at them. You literally can't get mad at the players for doing that because it was so easy to do it. You locked Cloud into so much of the plot. But then their decision to fix it was later on in 8 by making pretty much most of the... Yeah, I think Squall is optional. Even though he's the main protagonist of Final Fantasy VIII, he is optional. You don't have to have him in your party. And we also got the Conformer, which is Yuffie's final weapon. Wait, Drak, I thought you hated Yuffie. Why are you helping her? Because she's going to be part of the final boss fight anyway, and I might as well have her prepared. Would you stop licking poor Red 13? What did he do to you, dude? And I think that's all the items that you can get out of the Crash Gelnika. So we don't need to worry about this area anymore. And it's time for us to move on to the other area that actually got unlocked with Ultimate Weapon. It is called the Ancient Forest, I think? Yeah, the Ancient Forest. And it's just a little area up in the highlands of Cosmo Canyon. And this is kind of... The Ancient Forest is pretty much what the Gelnika is. It's got more materia that is going to make you god levels of insane attack power, defense, all that stuff, as well as being able to be a pretty decent grinding area for experience if you want to do that. I've seen a lot of recommendations online saying, like, if you're going to max out your characters and do it right, then you've got to do it in the Northern Cave. And that's not wrong. It's never been wrong in a Final Fantasy game. All of the final areas are really great for buku amounts of experience. Except for Final Fantasy VIII, but you guys will see why when we get there. It's still good, but at that point it actually becomes a bit of a nuisance. You'll see why. But yeah, you can totally level in the Northern Cave. And by the way, if you see that little tail in the desert, that is Ruby Weapon. So Ruby Weapon is unlocked. You can go face him if you want. I don't. They literally have millions of hit points. It's I think somebody clocked a Ruby Weapon fight like full on for 30 minutes to an hour. Just sitting there and doing everything you can. And basically what you have to do is make it a loop so that when he murders you, you get a materia called Final Attack. And the Final Attack you just pair with the Summoned Phoenix. So you can then resurrect everybody at full health. And at that point, do round 2. And you just do that over and over and over again. Seriously, I do not want to waste a limit break on you guys. Stop it! Now, while we are making our way to the Ancient Forest, there are a few updates that I need to take care of. First of all, since this is going to be coming out on Thursday, just to warn people who listen to the podcast, there will actually not be a podcast this week. I flubbed last week when I said that there would be. I completely forgot that BlizzCon is this weekend, and I'm going to be watching all the panels and the announcements and covering that. And I believe Alex has stuff going on at that time too, so we're going to skip to either next week or the week after. This is around the time when all of our schedules get really weird and insane. So we'll keep you guys up to date as much as we possibly can, but that's going to kind of hinder a lot of process on the channel. Is I'm going to be doing BlizzCon, plus I've got kids, and, you know, I hate to use the kids' excuse all the time. You know, this is like number 1 billion that I've used it, but it is that important. Like, at that point, I do need to take care of my kids before I take care of my channel. Now, you guys will notice all of the little objects in the Ancient Forest, they actually come into play with exploring the forest. You actually need to use the flies and the toads that you're going to come across, as well as honeycombs here and there, to get around the forest, so that you can get all the materia you want, as well as possibly level grind in here. But mostly for the materia and the weapons and all that fun stuff. The stuff that's going to make us God mode when we face off against Sephiroth. And I also do have a good announcement for Diablo viewers. I put it up on Twitter, and some people didn't get what I put up. I have recorded the final little bit of Diablo. I'm hoping to get it up tomorrow, but if it's not up by then, it is there. It's being edited, so you guys will get it in your hands very soon, and we will be finished with Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction. And I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but we are going to get back to, or we are going to get to Diablo 3, as well as its expansion, Reaper of Souls. So that is happening. Don't worry about that. And Tale of Drakfu fans, it is going to be coming back in some form, but as I've said, I've got kids, and kids kind of interfere in the recording process, so it'll be there when it gets there, but thankfully you have so much to be able to go and watch right now anyway. I've covered all the way up from Old World WoW to literally finishing off the 3rd zone in Legion, so there's really not too much there. Plus, if you think about it, there's not really a whole lot left to cover as far as the main story is concerned. I have debated whether or not to kind of put Tale of Drakfu on hold early and just cover a little bit more dungeons and Drakfus to get us at least up to either at, like, we finished Warlords of Draenor or we finished the Legion content, just so that all that's done. I haven't figured that out yet, but I'll let you guys know the second that I do. Oh, wow, and I called that so fast. Okay, so, yeah, the problem here is that the toads are more of a thing that can get spit out, but if you put flies in these things, they will permanently eat them. So at that point, you literally screw yourself, and you have to press the square button to resume the Ancient Forest at the beginning. I'm thankful that Square Enix put that in, but it's also very frustrating. And unfortunately, these Venus flytraps do a lot of damage, so I have to occasionally heal because I'm trying to get that damn bag out of its mouth. Can I do it this time? Nope. Why not? I don't know. There you go, Super Shot ST, which is a fairly good weapon for Barrett, but by this point, I have his final weapon, so it doesn't really matter. But you can do whatever you want. There we go. Let's go ahead and cast Ultima, because it seems like magic's the only thing that really hurts these little reed guys. And so, you've got plenty of stuff returning, but as far as active schedule is concerned, I also do have a video kind of addressing that, because now that I have 2 kids and I'm technically the stay-at-home dad and occasionally trying to get work so that I can pay for things like Christmas presents, there's going to be some changes to that, unfortunately. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to give you guys bad news all the time, but that's the way it's going to go. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this week. So we'll when we come back, we will finish up the Ancient Forest.